Apple's market value has just surpassed $3 trillion. This number shocked me, and I immediately threw away my iPhone 14 because I felt I couldn't bear this responsibility. $3 trillion is already larger than the GDP of most countries, and it even exceeds the projected GDP of the UK in 2022. Just think about it, this is the power of Apple. Its market value is larger than the entire economy of a country. In that sense, if Apple wanted to, it could completely buy the UK and transform all the pubs into Apple stores. We wouldn't call it the UK anymore, it would be called Apple Land, with the national flower being the apple blossom. I'm sure that when you buy a cup of coffee there, you might even have to verify with Face ID. Under this pressure, the UK might start leaning towards changing some economic policies, such as encouraging more spending in pubs since that has evidently become their economic growth engine. Alternatively, they might change fiscal policies by reducing investments in computer manufacturing and pharmaceutical industries and redirecting them towards the development of Apple's smartphones. That way, at least they might catch up with Apple's market value. But even so, it seems that the economic prospects for the UK are not optimistic. Economists warn that due to rising borrowing costs, the UK might enter a recession in the second half of this year. In that case, I think there's only one solution: letting Apple take over the UK. Perhaps, by then, the king or queen of the UK could be Siri or Alexa. However, this might also be a good thing because, based on Apple's performance, they might do better than the UK government. After all, the rise in Apple's stock price is related to the upcoming release of the iPhone 15, with approximately 250 million iPhones needing an upgrade, which could allow Apple to increase its average selling price by around $100. This means that if you're a UK citizen, you might need to pay an Apple tax of up to £100 for your new iPhone. For all the people in the UK, these things might not matter. What matters is the age-old question: have you pre-ordered your new iPhone 15? At the same time, some fund managers are now facing a tricky situation where they might not have bought enough Apple stocks. Yes, you heard it right. Apple's stock price has risen so fast that they are worried they might have missed a big opportunity. It's like finding a treasure chest filled with gold coins on a beach but only bringing a small bucket to collect them. That feeling must be painful. However, I don't think they'll be too upset since they still have those who didn't buy enough Bitcoin to mock. Do you know what? Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, the billionaires who single-handedly created the indispensable technology in our lives, are supposedly having a fight. Yes, you heard it right. It's the founders of Facebook and Tesla, one dominating the social media space and the other taking us to Mars. Last month, Musk openly challenged Zuckerberg on social media, saying, "Hey Mark, do you want to have a cage fight? What is happening in this world? Aren't our tech leaders supposed to attack each other's code in the office, not wrestle in a cage?" When I saw Zuckerberg's response, I almost spit my coffee on the screen. He actually replied, "Send me the address." I guess he must have just finished watching Gladiator. But honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing Zuckerberg in the Roman arena. We all know that serious face he had during the Senate hearing, so maybe he'll find his fighting spirit in the cage. Insiders say that this exhibition match is in the works. Wait, exhibition match? What does that mean? Does it mean Zuckerberg will release a brand new Gladiator filter before the match starts? Or will Musk design a rocket-powered backpack so that when his fist hits Zuckerberg's face, he'll fly off to Mars? It seems like this match might actually happen. It's said that Zuckerberg's friends and advisors are supporting him to participate, which is surprising. I always thought his friends would advise him, "Mark, you can't use emojis in a gladiator fight." So, would Musk's advisors tell him, "Your survival rate on Mars is much higher than in a cage"? This world is truly crazy. Tech billionaires have transitioned from producing smartphones, electric cars, and artificial intelligence to cage fighting. But no matter the outcome, I hope their boxing gloves have Wi-Fi, so we can at least scroll through Facebook and watch SpaceX rocket launches while they're fighting. Speaking of Elon Musk, I think we all know what happened on Twitter last Saturday, right? I'm referring to the page limit issue that had users worldwide complaining. Musk said, "We must control the number of tweets you can read each day." I guess that's what we all needed after seeing too many tweets about aliens and rockets. He mentioned that unverified accounts could read 600 posts per day, while verified accounts could read 6,000 posts per day. Then, in response to everyone's reactions, he adjusted the numbers to 10K, 1K, and 0.5K. I suppose that's him recalculating fuel consumption rates before a rocket launch. Have you seen the reactions from users? Some said, "This might be the end of Twitter." Others said, "Musk doesn't understand any technology." Some even said, "Musk is like one of those Scooby-Doo villains dressed as a ghost, trying to scare everyone away but forgetting that his business is a theme park." I think this was truly an enlightening user experience lesson, showing us that if you try to limit the number of tweets users can read on Twitter, you may end up with a lot of angry tweets. The most amusing part is that Musk retweeted a tweet saying we are all addicted to Twitter and need to go out into the real world. Then someone pointed out that the tweet wasn't actually from Musk himself but from an impersonator. I guess that's something you might miss when you can only read 600 tweets per day. So, if you find yourself seeing only posts about rockets, aliens, and electric cars on Twitter, maybe it's time to put down your phone and go explore the real world. After all, we can't let Musk monopolize the entire stage on Twitter, right? Of course, it's also possible that Musk is using this as a way to limit AI companies from using Twitter data. It's like coming home after a crazy party and finding your house completely turned upside down, then saying, well, I think we should control how much everyone drinks. Regardless, we can confirm one thing. Musk always manages to bring some surprises into our lives. Whether it's launching rockets into space, implementing page limits on Twitter, or engaging in cage fights with Zuckerberg, he always keeps our lives full of laughter and astonishment. Well, everyone, I think we all need to thank Musk for these little episodes he brings into our lives because they make it more interesting. Just like his rockets, we might occasionally lose control, we might occasionally burn, but in the end, we always break free from the shackles of gravity and fly towards the stars. Did you know that Koreans are now younger than us? It's not because they've discovered some new skincare secret or their kimchi has magical anti-aging effects. The reason is actually quite simple. They've changed their way of calculating age. Yes, you heard it right, they've changed their way of calculating age. In Korea, when a child is born, they are already considered 1 year old, and when the new year comes, they add another year. So, if you were born at the end of December, a few weeks later, you'll be celebrating your second birthday. Sounds cool, doesn't it? Just imagine, a little baby being 2 years old before their diaper is even changed. I know Korea has always been fast-paced, where a K-drama episode can go from meeting to marriage, but I didn't expect age to increase that quickly too. But now, they've decided to change this calculation method to align with the rest of the world. It's not just a matter of numbers. For Koreans, it's about their position in society and their situation in school. I'm wondering, if we also adopted this calculation method, I might already be almost XX years old. Well, a woman's age is something we shouldn't tell others, right? But I don't want to start researching how to apply for kindergarten when my child is just a few months old. If you feel like you're getting old or under a lot of pressure, maybe you should consider immigrating to Korea. After all, people there have gotten a lot younger now. Biden to visit 3 European countries. The White House announced on July 2 that President Biden will embark on a 5-day, 3-country visit to Europe in a week's time. The key stop will be the annual NATO summit in Vilnius, Lithuania, where Western leaders plan to discuss the latest developments in their efforts to support Ukraine against Russia. Additionally, Biden will first travel to London from July 9 to 13 to strengthen the close relationship between the two countries. Putin's invasion of Ukraine reveals corrosiveness, creating generational opportunity for CIA Director Burns stated on July 1 that the defection of Russian Wagner mercenaries demonstrates the corrosive effect of Putin's launching of the war in Ukraine on their society and regime. Under propaganda and repression, discontent with the war will continue to erode the Russian leadership, creating a rare opportunity for the CIA. He revealed that the CIA is already utilizing this discontent to recruit spies in Russia. Russia launches drone and cruise missile night raids on Kyiv again. Wagner mutiny. Putin quietly purges the military. Ukrainian authorities say that last week, Ukrainian forces successfully recaptured 37 square kilometers of territory from Russian troops. The Russian Federal Security Service stated that they have successfully thwarted an assassination attempt against Crimea's leaders. After the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war, the European Union suddenly awakened to security issues and opened the floodgates of funding. However, money itself cannot create security. The European Defense Report released by the Munich Security Conference points out that while additional funding is crucial, the proper and effective use of funds is an art in itself. France riot. 1,311 arrested. Macron cancels trip to Germany. The riots sparked by the police shooting of a young black teenager, Nahul, in France have been spreading for several days. On July 1, the French Ministry of the Interior reported approximately 2,500 reported fires nationwide, over 1,350 cars burned, and 1,311 people arrested. The average age of the protesters is 17. In order to quell the riots, French President Macron had already shortened his attendance at the EU summit and postponed his planned trip to Germany on July 2. A relative of the French teenager, Nahul, who was shot dead by the police, told the BBC that they did not want Nahul's death to lead to riots, but emphasized that the laws regarding the use of lethal weapons when stopping vehicles by traffic police must be reformed. Young people of African and Arab descent across France complain of ongoing police abuse of power, including racial profiling during law enforcement operations, as well as harassment, attacks, and shootings in suburban areas with a concentration of working-class residents. A video of a police officer shooting Nahul during a traffic stop has to some extent sparked the wave of riots that has engulfed France since last Tuesday. 150 years after the abolition of slavery, King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands apologized for the country's history of slave trade. During an official event on July 1, the king said, "I apologize here. I can feel the weight of these words in my heart and soul." Starting from the 17th century, the Netherlands became a major colonial power in Europe, with approximately 600,000 people being transported from Africa to the Dutch colonies in the Americas as slaves. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Novak stated that Russia will voluntarily reduce its export volume by 500,000 barrels per day in August. Saudi Arabia's state news agency quoted the country's energy ministry as saying that Saudi Arabia will extend its production cut plan of 1 million barrel per day, which started in July, to August. As a result, oil prices have risen. Saudi Arabia began limiting production from last weekend. Saudi officials believe that later this year, demand will exceed supply, thus driving oil prices higher. Analysts from the IEA and Wall Street banks believe that demand may recover in the second half of 2023. The problem is that the oil market seems to disagree with their views. A key market indicator suggests that traders do not expect a decrease in supply in the coming months. In an exclusive report, Tyson is said to be reintroducing certain antibiotics in its chicken supply chain and removing the "No Antibiotics Ever" labels from its Tyson-branded chicken products. Reportedly, Apple is significantly reducing its production target for the Vision Pro headset due to manufacturers struggling to adapt to its complex design. Tesla's global deliveries in the second quarter surged by 83%, thanks to significant price reductions and high discounts. The electric car manufacturer is currently pursuing growth in an increasingly competitive market. The Seoul Pride Parade in South Korea took place on July 1 amidst opposition and difficulties in obtaining a venue application, but still attracted tens of thousands of participants despite anti-LGBT voices. Hello everyone, I am your news anchor, Yali. We provide you with a one-stop service for global news every day. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section, and we will carefully read and respond to your comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Take care everyone.